Hello, hello. This is Dr. Tyler Kalasi, physical therapist and personal trainer, strength coach, educator. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that has been racking my brain for a while, and it's a concept that I think many people who are in this fitness performance, kind of maybe even navigating pain realm, are going to really benefit from grasping and kind of owning throughout their journey, right? This concept is health first, fitness second, and then performance, right? Put a little bit more clearer, right? First, you need to establish a baseline of health, right? Movement health. And then you can have freedom with your fitness. You can find more freedom with a fitness routine. And then you can find fun by chasing performance goals. I want to talk a little bit about what each of those mean, what that looks like, and how you can do that for yourself. So, this concept has come up for me many times as I work with my one on one clients around navigating pain, because I see a lot of people skipping step one and or step two in an effort to go after step three, right? I see a lot of people who want to just do the performancey stuff. They want to go back to lifting the heavy weights or running the long miles or jumping and cutting and moving fast or swinging the bell like an athlete, but they have other stuff that needs to be done first, whether it's better recovery or just being able to train consistently, right? Being able to handle moderate weights, being able to move through a good enough range of motion before we ask the body to do all of those things real fast or over under a ton of stress or with a lot of reps and sets and whatever it may be. So whether you are navigating pain or you are navigating a long time away from training and you are trying to come back to some sort of fitness routine, my first piece of advice is to establish a strong baseline in health, movement health specifically, but health overall. We can kind of call this, what I've come up with is functional autonomy. You have the independent control over your function day to day. This isn't necessarily about being pain free, it's more about having your recovery dialed in, being consistent with your daily routine relatively, um, being consistent and persistent with your rehab exercises or at least some sort of movement practice like walking or mobility or light training, right? Having your lifestyle to a place where it supports the stress of regular movement, having your mindset and your emotional state to a place where at least you're in to some degree control of it and you're managing stress decently well. You are using techniques to offload stress and organize your day, organize your thoughts in a way that allows you to like not implode when something stresses your system, whether it be like a big work project or training. So I think we can say this like health step here is like the baseline. Like, are you functioning decently well without a massive amount of support from medications or, someone kind of holding your hand through things or, a big adjustment in your normal, what used to be normal day to day life, right? If that's the case and you're moving kind of consistently, it's probably going to naturally occur that you start going after your fitness, right? So building a free, wide portfolio of fitness so that you can move freely. Like, what does that look like? Well, it looks like you having a consistent training routine where you're pushing your body and your mind a little bit to some degree its limits, right? A couple days a week, you're being intentional with the exercises that you're doing and you're following some sort of long-term plan, consistently trying to progress with various metrics, and you are on your way to achieving movement freedom, right? You can move through full range of motion in a squat and touching your toes, reaching overhead, and you can handle external resistance on your body, right? You can move against external stress without your body breaking down or having a massive flare up. And you are no longer just like managing pain, you're doing fitness to actually start creating more fitness, as opposed to like early on in rehab, you're doing fitness to, you know, make something stronger or more mobile or less sensitive so that you don't have this pain or restriction anymore, right? When we start moving from health is like establish healthy patterns, healthy habits, good recovery, a good mindset so that you can heal. When we start moving towards the fitness realm, it's like finish the healing and also get yourself to a place where your movement practice isn't dedicated to healing. It's dedicated to progressing your body, whether it be strength or mobility or hypertrophy or power or athleticism. You're kind of flirting with having fun, but you still are not as brave, as, you know, intense with your fitness. And then we have the last phase here, if you may, right? Performance, chasing performance. Once again, you have a strong foundation of recovery. Your lifestyle is largely dialed in and consistent. You're pretty autonomous with the choices you make around what you do on a day to day, what movements are okay for you. You know what to do if your body does kind of have a bad day and gets a little cranky, and you are ready to kind of push your limits because your body can handle that additional stress. Your tissues can handle that additional stress. Your body can figure it out when it's under extra weight and you have a little breakdown in technique, or you can recover from like that crazy run or that crazy workout that you maybe shouldn't have done because it was a little too much, but your body's now at a point where it's resilient enough that you recover in a couple of days. Whereas back in that fitness category, when you were still maybe cleaning up some weak and painful links, your mind is still a little bit tentative about what your body can handle. you know it's going to be a little bit easier to break things down or create a problem that doesn't go away as quickly, right? Whereas the performance realm, it's really largely all about having fun. So health first, fitness second, and then performance. And I think this is important, especially for my friends who are navigating pain, trying to overcome pain, because you don't want to get too excited about the performance stuff. You don't want to be looking so far ahead about what you couldn't do in the past and what you want to be able to do that you ignore some of those baseline characteristics, those baseline metrics that need to be met, right? Really good recovery, moving consistently throughout the week, and so on. So as you continue on your journey with or through pain, as you are working on your performance if you don't have pain, recognize that you may need to circle back to step two or even step one at times, because life dictates that you have to take a step back. There may be times when you have a death in the family or a big work project, or you get depressed or whatever it may be, and life is telling you that you need to focus more on just maintaining health, maybe even not just getting it back, like maintaining health, maintaining a consistent fitness routine where you're not really progressing anything at the time. And that's okay, because when you try to push performance when it's time for just a fitness season, typically the body gets upset, or the nervous system or the mind gets upset. When you try to go after fitness too hard, when you're really supposed to be in a season where you're just rebuilding or maintaining health, right? The body, the mind, the system typically gets upset. And you're not always going to know where you should be. And I don't know if it's always like, these 3 weeks you're in a fitness phase, these 3 weeks you're in a performance phase. Sometimes it's day to day. But I hope that with this recognition of these three kind of phases, these three kind of seasons of movement, we can call it, that you might recognize an approaching phase sooner, or recognize when you should be pushing for performance or stepping it back. So I hope to develop this concept more and more, but this was something that I just needed to get out of my head. And if you enjoyed this, if you think this might be helpful for you in the future, please shoot me a message, shoot me an email. Just let me know that you liked it. Let me know that it was helpful so that I have more of a ambition to keep making these. Um, have a great day.